All right, welcome to a Friday Reads. That's not a Friday Reads. For those who may be new here, I normally do these impromptu check-ins on Fridays, but this Friday I have a readathon announcement that I'm doing with a bunch of friends, so stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out soon. But I also am finally in a reading mood again, because between being sick and moving and vacation and graduation, I've been a little out of it since I had my huge reading month in April, and that hasn't been upsetting to me, but I now have it back, and I'm now in the middle of 6 things, and I want to start another thing, and as I'm filming this, I think I have 10 days left. And maybe it's doable if I get this going. So this is my mid-month-ish, I need to read all these books because I want to, / the month is ending, and time has it's gone faster than normal for me. So this is going to be kind of still my casual check-in, but with a little bit of urgency, a little bit of, can I do this? And you will find out come the wrap-up, did I do this? Because I think this is my last check-in this month before I do my wrap-up near the end of it. So quickly, 2 things I have finished since we last chatted. I finished Foreigner. This is good, not great for me. I really don't know what to say other than I know it heavily inspired A Memory Called Empire. I mean, I don't think I read it anywhere, but if you've read it and you've read A Memory Called Empire, it's got lots of similar themes, lots of similar plot premises and stuff like that. So it had that going for it, but also I just think I liked the writing of A Memory Called Empire better and the main character better. Like, being isolated with Mahit was very different than being isolated with, I think his name is Bren. I don't know, I still am going to finish the trilogy, as I said in my video earlier this week, but I finished it. It was good, but not great for me. And then I finished Grace of Kings, and I'm just going to say review video to come, because if I keep saying it, that means I'll film it. And at bare minimum, I'll talk about it more at the end of the month, and if you're a patron, you've already seen my spoiler vlog for that. And so now, all the things I'm in the middle of, and like I said, I'm in the middle of 6 things. Okay, 1 is not urgent for finishing this month, but I do need to finish it by, I believe, it's July 9th? It's one of the first weekends in July that's not July 4th weekend, where we're going to be discussing The Gates of Europe and Red Famine on Jess Owen's channel. It's the nonfiction book Comuna Reads, and I am this far. A lot of this at the end is like notes and stuff, so I really only have like this much left, so I'm like over halfway through. I just need to prioritize this, get that done. So this one I'm not concerned about since I can definitely read more of this in July. And I'll still be on track for the live show. Speaking of live shows, when I was filming my Monday video, I realized in real time that this Saturday is the live for Parable of the Talents by Octavia Butler. When I filmed that video for Monday, I filmed it Sunday, and I had not started yet. And normally I give myself a solid week before any book commitment like that. And I hadn't yet, so I picked it up on Sunday. And I'm about 30-ish% of the way through, maybe 32%. I have the audiobook, I have the physical, I will get it done in time. It's unfortunate that I'm not really in the headspace for this type of dystopian, but it's working for me, and it's, once again, just like fascinating how it feels very on the nose. Like, you read this now, in 2022, it feels really on the nose, but when you think of the context of when it was written, and how many pieces of community character experience that she has accurately predicted, she had some insight into the human condition, especially on a societal level. And this one, I think, is more enjoyable than Parable of the Sower because we have multiple perspectives. I think we might have 4 perspectives. It's still kind of sort of mixed media-ish, where we have the journal entries of Lauren, and we have also some journal entries of her husband, Bacole. I think that's how you say his name. Some entries of another male character that I'm being vague about in case it's a spoiler, and also this is all a reflection of her daughter looking back on it. And her daughter doesn't actually see her mother, who started this whole Earthseed religion, in like the best light. So it's a really interesting framing of knowledge. I do just sometimes think I get exhausted by the pondering, but the audiobooks helped. When I switched from physically reading to audio, it's very much like sermons and preaching and parables, and it's a lot easier to hear that for me than it is to physically read it with my eyes, if that makes sense. So that one for sure, by the Saturday, has to be done for that book club discussion. Do I have any other things that I'm like reading for any commitments? Not really. The rest of these things are just all things I want to read. A thing I started that I shouldn't have started, and I have no regrets because it's been so fun, is Locklands by Robert Jackson Bennett. So I started this because Jessie May, who you guys probably all know her channel, loves the Founders Trilogy, and she was going to start Locklands. And I'm like, oh my god, I have that too. If you want a buddy read, let me know. And she's like, yes, I'm starting it soon. I'm like, okay, well, what is a reasonable TBR anyways? So I started it, and it's been great. It's actually, I think, the book that's gotten me back into my reading mood, because Sunday morning, I actually read 100 pages in almost one sitting, which doesn't normally happen for me, because Robert Jackson Bennett is just... It is fast, it is plot-driven, and I love the cast of characters, and it's just the way the world has evolved since the last book. Like, I for a second, I'm like, did I misremember how the last book ended? Which I did a little bit, but there's a lot of societal evolution, technological evolution that has happened off-page when you come back into the Founders Trilogy, and it's been fun. Especially if you're like me and you like techie world-building stuff, like, it's been a good time. And it's definitely that trajectory of a fantasy trilogy where, like, the stakes are through the roof. And I don't know who's making it. I don't know what's going to happen. I am concerned about characters. Like, oof. I don't know. Because, I mean, I've read his other trilogies, so I do know he's not afraid to get rid of people I care about, is what I will say. So that's been fun, a joy. Was it in the cards? Was it on a TBR? Kind of, sort of, like I've had the arc for a while, but I never told you guys, and I didn't really plan it. So maybe that has me a little behind. And you're probably thinking, well, Angela, how are we doing with Seasonal Fears? We're not doing bad, but it has not yet been the priority book. I am this far, and I'm enjoying it. I just, like... I think I would be reading this if I wasn't reading Locklands, if that makes sense. And I need to get into this again, because it reads really fast when I sit down to read it. But I think when I kept trying to pick it up, I still just wasn't in my reading mode, and so I'd read 10 or 15 pages and then need to take a nap, because I was still recovering from being sick, and I let myself nap. So I'm still enjoying this. I really like Seanan McGuire's writing and the focus of this intimate character relationship in this, like, grand scheme of, I guess it's a competition-ish book for this one. So I'm curious, because this is definitely different stakes than the first one and a different character dynamic duo that I'm following, but I'm enjoying it. I just have not, I guess, been called to read it as strongly as Locklands. So I guess I probably won't like it as much as Locklands if that's the case, or maybe I just need to actually sit down for a couple hours and read the book. There is that. Other things that I have started. So before I forgot that I needed to read Parable of the Talents, I started Dark Stars, which is the third book in the Resonance trilogy. This is my current audiobook, which is now kind of on pause while I finish Parable of the Talents. But I got like 30% into that before I realized I needed to pivot. And another third book in a series, so that has me excited, and I'm definitely more in the headspace for it, because after reading Foreigner, which was very thematically dense, very isolated character, there wasn't a lot of character interaction on page, which is my bread and butter as just a reader in general, coming back to like a cozy, found family, resistance group of people who, like, even though I haven't read the second book since winter sometime, I remember the whole cast very vividly. Like, I remember who was snarky with who was best friends with whoever. Like, the dynamics of the team came back to me instantly. It's very cozy, and I think I'm just finally in the headspace for this resistance story, which is taking it from an interesting perspective in terms of the military side and the rewriting a government side of things. So, curious to see where this one goes once I finish Parable of the Talents. And looking at my sheet, what is the last book that I'm still reading? And that is Fool's Errand, which is similar to Seasonal Fears in that, Angela, haven't you been reading this for a very long time? Why, yes, I have, but I've read half of it, which is over 400 pages. I think. It's either 300 or 400 pages. I've read a lot of this book. And not much has happened. It's very reflective, okay? It's a very reflective book. We're spending a lot of times with Fitz reflecting. It's not bad, but is it plot-driven? Like, I think between reading Grace of Kings and that at the same time, my brain just, like, would run out of space for that. And right now, I think, what's my ebook right now is Locklands. So my ebooks are like Locklands and Parable of the Talents. But I think once Locklands is more handled, I'll go back into really committing to Fool's Errand. I would really like to finish that by the end of the month, because I've been reading it since May. So I would like to get that done. I'm not upset if it takes a long time. I really don't mind meandering in a fantasy world. It's just, I like completing things. There's a certain serotonin that comes with finishing a book, and I'm slowly delving into pile of shame territory here in terms of how many books I am in the middle of. Now, if that wasn't enough, that I want to finish all of those things, maybe minus Gates of Europe by the end of the month. Okay, that's a lot. In addition to that, I still have one more obligation read. My patrons voted for this, and I'm supposed to be reading this with friends. And I have not started it yet. Evie has already finished it, and that's Daughter of the Moon Goddess. But what I'm excited about is that, it doesn't look small. It's, I think, how many pages are we at here? It says it's 500 pages, but look at this font, guys. This is gloriously large font. And part of why I'm excited to pick this up is I know it's more of a bridge book. It's more of a new adult book. I mean, it has a lot of tropes from YA. It's got a love triangle. So I am hoping this is very plot driven, right up my alley, different enough from everything else I've been reading this month so I can just truly escape into it. And it's so pretty. I just want to really love it because the second book comes out later this year and its cover is stunning. And that would be great. And also, it would be kind of a cool, bookend of starting the month with a pretty heavily Chinese-inspired fantasy book that's, really dense political, and then this one, I think, is more based on, celestial gods, so it's, a different part of Chinese culture. I don't know, it's kind of a cool bookend thing. I don't know, I just need to read this. It's my last obligation that I have not started. So, yeah, got a lot of books. But I'm excited about it. I'm, excited to read again. After I'm done with this, I'm excited to go sit on the couch and read a bunch of Locklands, because it's so good. I mean, Robert Jackson Bennett, I don't think will ever be a true 5-star author for me, but in terms of delivering on a consumable product that I find extremely entertaining, he is 5 out of 5 actually. Yeah, all 5 books I've read by him, none is lower than 4 stars for me. They were all really good. And I actually think his Divine Cities trilogy that doesn't get as much love on BookTube is chef's kiss phenomenal, especially if you like mysteries in your books. I think they're really good. I normally don't like mystery in my fantasy, and he convinces me that it's a good time. But that's it for this one. What are you trying to finish by the end of the month? Do you feel a sense of urgency like me? If not, what's it like to be calm and just enjoy reading as a really chill hobby? If you want to leave an emoji, a moon for Daughter of the Moon Goddess, because this is truly the stretch goal. This is truly the stretch goal of the month. Who am I kidding? That's Fool's Errand. I'll probably finish this before I finish Fool's Errand. But otherwise, if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.